I know they've been working very hard. I've been here for a few weeks now. I hear them in the mornings during the school day practicing. And I just want to thank them for all of your hard work this year and these past few weeks. I want to thank our parents for letting them be part of our music program and for allowing them to practice at home, even when you may not want them to be practicing at home. And I would also like to thank our music department here, starting with our supervisor, Mr. Sears, who is joining us tonight, and our music staff here at Monmouth Junction, Mr. Ippolito, Mr. Sir, and Miss D, for all their hard work and dedication to this music program. Tops in the district for sure. Just a few logistics, real quick. If you do want to take a picture or video, please do it from the sides. We have this performance being videotaped, so you can sit back, relax, and not worry about videotaping it. So we do need that center aisle wide open so no one blocks our video. Okay? So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. I'll turn it over to our orchestra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will start program with our string orchestra, 5th grade string orchestra. And our first piece called Detour. It's very nice, relaxing, and peaceful music. So feel free to fall asleep. Dream, I promise, kids, you will feel chilled. So enjoy. Our next piece is called Impulse, and it's totally different in character. It's dark, somewhat angry, and very intense. So enjoy. Piece. We have a very unusual guest. I was very lucky. In one of my European travels, I met this British rock star in the airport, and he kindly agreed to come and play with us today. So please welcome Iron Lion, the rock star. Our guest musician with us, Simon, who will be playing drum set. Just give us a short time to put the instruments in order. star on stage, audience. You have no choice. You have to participate. You simply have no choice. Please participate.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being patient. I had to get a haircut. That was probably the most hair some of you have seen me with in quite some time, so glad to bring back some memories to some of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we give one more round of applause to the orchestra? Here in South Brunswick, it's wonderful to have in our instrumental program both band and orchestra. I know some programs in other districts don't get to have that, and to be able to work with Mr. Vidowitz is quite a privilege and an honor. Up next, we have our jazz band group, which is our auditioned group here at Monmouth Junction. So you'll see 3 bands this evening: beginner band, advanced band, and also jazz band. And the jazz band is composed of mostly second-year students. And they undergo an audition, they prepare music that they've been working on, and also they do some sight reading. They're working on a piece that I don't work on with them at all. It's up to them to be able to practice that on their own. So the first piece that you're going to hear from them is called Doodlin' Thing, which is the piece that I gave them in the beginning of the year. And then we have a treat afterwards because they did such a great job. So I hope you enjoy the jazz band, Doodlin' Thing. for the winter concert for jazz band, I only do one piece of music. And this is a very special group, folks. And coming back here at Monmouth Junction, coming back in person for a winter concert, I told the students beforehand, we haven't had a winter concert, we had spring last year, but a winter concert in person in 3 years. And this group is very special. They were able to tackle on a second piece. And not only just any generic piece that I would pick from my library, this is a piece that a lot of you, I hope that a lot of you might know. They didn't know it, Louie Louie. But this is a classic rock jazz piece from way back in the 60s, recorded by the Kingsmen. I mean, I don't know the lyrics. I know some of you who know the song really can't tell what the lyrics are, but it's still an awesome piece, and they ate it up. So we're going to have a couple of musicians that are actually soloing, and the cool thing about this is that some of these solos were made up by them. So it's an improvised solo, or it was a written out solo. So I'm going to introduce them now so that this way we can get to hear them. So we're going to have first, where are we? Arna. We're going to have Arna on flute. Then we're going to have Volomik on percussion. You guys can wave when I call your name. Arna on flute. Then we're going to have Volomik on the bells. Then we're going to have Arham on the bari sax, which, by the way, we normally don't have bari sax players, so this is really cool to add low to the band. Then we're going to have Nikolai on the trombone. And then we're going to have Zainab and Sarish on the clarinet. Enjoy, Louie Louie. I just have to come down the stairs, as long as I'm on track. So up next, after our jazz band, another side. Before I do introduce the next group though, I neglected to point out one very, very, very important person to our group. And this person was in jazz band for 2 years. And he actually had a really, really awesome, solid drum solo. Mr. Simeon, can you give a wave? The cool thing about Simeon is that I think he has, you probably have the record for most groups that you're actually involved with. The orchestra, right? You have bragging rights? He's trying. But the cool thing about Simeon is that I don't have to do anything with him. All of what he does, he's doing on his own. He takes private lessons, and I say, Simeon, change it a little bit. I want something on the hi-hat more than the ride cymbal. He changes it up and fits right in, and that's the glue right there, is having that drum set player. So thank you, Simeon. So our next group, folks, is the beginner band, which is primarily our fourth grade group, and they're playing an instrument for the very first time. When they first took out their instrument in September, when they first got it from their rental companies, they had no idea what to do. They had a piece of metal in front of them or a piece of wood, and they said, all right, now show me. And what you're seeing today, folks, is they're putting together as a group, 5 notes, and they're putting together multiple pieces of music. So they have come a long way, and I'd like for all of you to be able to see that progression. So the first song that you're going to hear is Hot Cross Buns, the immortal classic from Beginner Band. So enjoy. Like this, sometimes it's hard to be able to hear what each of those instruments sound like, especially when you're used to your child playing just that one instrument, but you get to see all these other cool instruments in addition. So you're going to get to hear each of these sections feature their instruments. So up first, we're going to have the flutes playing a song called Good Neighbors. Clarinets playing Take 5. section we have trumpets, which are high brass, and we have our low brass section, which is the trombone and also the baritone. Oh, and they're playing dreidel dreidel. Section of the band, which moves it all together, the rhythm of the band is our percussion section, and they're going to be playing a song called Up and Down. Portion of the concert, they're going to play one more piece together, and this piece is called Au Clair de la Lune. Just one quick transition, it's just movements of bodies. So give us about maybe, I don't know, a minute or so, and then we're going to end with our advanced band. So hang on. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have in front of you the advanced band, which primarily consists of either second-year students, and we do have also a fourth grade. Zachary, can you give a wave? Zachary is our fourth grade. Zachary had joined us earlier in the season. Zachary has been playing the trumpet for some time. He's come from a musical family, so every now and then, I tell the beginner band also, it's not just about what grade you're in. I want to give you the push. Always go ahead. You don't have to wait for me to say, hey, practice your instrument. It's something that I always encourage the students to do, because the more music they play, the more fun that they are having. The first piece that we have for you is called Court Festival, and this is a very Renaissance-y kind of a feel. So you're going to hear a lot of different types of percussion instruments that give you that kind of a vibe, and you're going to hear a very majestic kind of a sound with this piece. So enjoy Court Festival. Next piece, we're going to change the pace a little bit and also the mood. I actually went with a classical piece of music, one of my favorite classical composers, Beethoven. And this piece comes from his second movement of his 7th Symphony. And this piece, you're going to hear a minor, more of a solemn kind of a feel to it. But the purpose of it is to give hope. And that is something that I think together as a world that we can always use, and through music we can get that. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Beethoven's one of his most famous works from his 7th Symphony, second movement. Before we conclude with our last piece, there's just a few thank yous that I want to give out, and it's going to be just a little bit longer than I'm used to, but there's a lot that went behind coming back home here at Monmouth Junction. And I just want to make sure that I say those thank yous. First of all, I would like to say thank you to our new principal, Mr. Mike Stevens. And our other administrator who is here with us, who is recording, Mr. Rob Sears. Folks, there was a lot of work that went behind with the tickets and making sure that all the information went out, and we would not have been able to do that with our awesome secretarial staff. So to Mrs. Schreier and Ms. Arnell. This setup would not have existed with our awesome custodial staff led by Mr. Tom Kelly. So I know some of them are in the back there making their rounds, but I want to give them their applause also. We have quite a few actually, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers here with us, and without them not only just being here present, but they give the support on the back lines from the class. They share their students with us, and they believe in them, and they send them off to be able to do these music lessons. So we give them a round of applause, not only for being here, and Ms. Stadler. Am I missing that? I think I got it. And Ms. Stadler, all the way in the back. Have a very, very important individual here with us, ladies and gentlemen. He has graduated from TCNJ, is our student teacher, Mr. Foster, and Mr. Foster has done a lot of work with the students. It wasn't me all the time. From the very beginning, back in September, all the way through December, he was working with the beginners, he was working with the jazz band, the advanced band, working with intricacies as far as their instrument goes. And the students say all the time, do you know all the instruments? And it is very true. So we want to give them a very special gift. Thank yous, I promise. Thank you, students, for practicing. The last thank you comes from you and goes to them. Let's thank parents, guardians, siblings, our folks, if there's no belief in the arts, if there's no belief in music, we can't express our emotion. And me as a music teacher, I know I can share that with my fellow colleagues, Mr. Sir and Mr. Vidowitz, but it is true. And I hope that you can see that as your children grow in their musical endeavors. So that comes from you, and I thank you so very much. And I thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to end the concert with a piece called Mechanical Monsters. And if you can kind of envision right now a story, mechanical monsters, you can think of grotesque monsters, you can think of slimy, you can think of robotic monsters, and you're going to hear a lot of different instruments that are representing these kinds of monsters that are having a battle. And Mr. Sir is going to be helping us out. We have a synthesizer, which is going to give us some electronic sound. So he's going to start us off by the time I make it to my podium. get one more round of applause for our beginner band, Jasmine, and
All right, thank you so much.